Happy Sunday. It's All Legal 2 viewers. We are back for another episode of Sunday Sessions. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad that you are able to join us this evening. Hey, Ned. Thank you for tuning in. We're just going to wait for some more followers to come in. We have a great show for you this evening. We have a very dear friend of mine, Howard University alum, my soror also, member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I'm not going to even try to ski weed because my voice is not going to even allow that this evening. But we are going to be talking about the legal and marketing impact of social media and why, it's important. And we're going to also talk about the pitfalls and the pluses of, how important social media is to small businesses, large corporations, and just trying to brand your company using social media. So we are just going to wait for Lynne to come in and join us. But I'm going to shout out to our viewers right now who are coming in. So thank you. We have my other Howard alum sister coming in, Dana Davis. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Dana. All right. We also have Casey all over the place who joined. Aurora G, my girl. What's up? We also have my daughter, Gia Cox. What's up? We have Teens Talking Initiative. Hello. Yes, welcome. Social media. Yeah, because the majority of the individuals that are on Instagram are millennials, teenagers, my kids especially. So thank you guys for joining in. And if you have any other friends, relatives that you want to tell them about to join in, please spread the word and come on in. But right now, we are going to have my guest for this evening. I saw her, Lynne Braggs, join in. Here we go. All right, so we are going to wait for Lynne to join in. The Real Sister 2.0. I think that is my mentor, my friend, Jamie Foster Brown. Hello. Thank you so much. There she is. The one and only Lynne Braggs.
Oh boy.
There you go. We can see you.
I can't see. Hold on.
All right, guys. She's getting her technology fixed. Uh-oh, she left. She's going to come back in, but we're going to have a great show in store for you guys. I see my sister, Renee C. Hubble, joining in. Thank you, my sissy, for always supporting me and joining in. We have All Luck Girl who joined in. We have Roxanne Izzy who joined in. And we have another HU sister, world-renowned fashion designer, Dina Burton. What's up, Dina? All right, we're going to try to get Lynne back in here now. All right, so hopefully she's going to be joining it. Here she comes. There we go. All right,
okay.
Lynne.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I have no idea what's going on with my technology. I feel like I'm having a Teddy Riley baby face moment. I can't see anyone.
Welcome, my sister. Thank you so much for being here tonight on Sunday Sessions with It's All Legal.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here, Janine, and I see a lot of names, familiar names. I see a lot of our HU crews on here, so that's pretty exciting.
I know
to have all the gang here.
We Bison, we support each other. So I was trying to give them shout outs. I saw Dina on here, Dana on here.
Yeah, I saw, hey, Dina and Dana, and I saw my god sister, Kenya. That's Casey all over the place.
Hey.
So I'm glad. HU, she's also HU. So.
That's what we do.
All right, well, I'm having some difficulties, but if you can see me okay, can you hear me okay?
I can see and hear you okay. Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
I'm just going to roll with it.
Hey, Rory. All right, so I was just giving our viewers some of your illustrious background. Lynne is the owner of Braggology, which is a consulting and marketing firm based out of Dallas, where she is the owner. principal marketing guru. So I'm going to let her tell us all about why businesses should be using social media, the differences between all of these platforms, because, you know, I'm still trying to figure them out myself. And she's going to drop some knowledge onto us about the do's and don'ts of using social media for marketing. And I'm going to chime in about the legal aspect of social media. So, Lynne, I'm going to give you the floor, my sister.
Okay, so Janine, I just want to say thanks again for having me at Sunday Sessions. I'm super excited about your new show and your new platform. I think it's really exciting. And just kind of a little bit about Braggology. Just one of the things is I do marketing, but I'm really, really focused on strategic planning. And a big part of it is a lot of times people want to jump in and just, hey, I need a website, I need a logo, I need this, but sometimes you have to take a few steps back and think strategically. And of course, social media should be a part of that strategic plan, but you want to be strategic about how you use it.
Right.
And so one of the things I think we know with COVID is that a lot of companies or businesses were not prepared to be digitally prepared to be online. That maybe they were able to do business quite well without social media, even because they had a strong customer base or strong just a lot of loyalty, and they just had a different way of doing businesses. So it's really forced a lot of companies to start thinking about, how do I improve my presence online? So usually the first go-to is social media. And so one of the things that kind of got this conversation, because you talked about us, you know, talking about marketing.
Right.
And one of the things I just like to reference that kind of caught my attention was when Shaun King said he was officially shutting down his his Instagram page from the standpoint of new followers. And so it kind of brought to mind the idea of, with you being an attorney, because there's a lot of issues around the threats and things of that nature. So sometimes that's when social media could get really ugly. Now, mind you, somebody like him, like Shaun King, can shut down his page. He has 3 million followers. So he's in a real good place to say, I don't want any more followers, right?
Right, he's good.
But the rest of us are trying to get to the million, and some of us may already be there who are on here, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day,
1,000, so spread the word, everybody. Hint, hint.
Yeah, no, exactly. Tell a friend or two. And so one of the things with social media is you got to figure out what is the right platform. A lot of businesses jump in and they're like, you know, I'm going to be on all the channels and I'm going to, you know, post constantly. But even with that, you have to kind of think through it. So for example, with Braggology, a lot of my marketing is business to business marketing with corporations. So Instagram is not necessarily the channel for those particular clients. And even for me to get business, LinkedIn is more of my favorite channel. And that's actually where I get most of my business outside of referrals.
Okay.
But if you're more consumer facing, you cannot live in this world today without being on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and those types of things.
I mean, especially like you said, since COVID happened, right? We were all basically forced to go into our homes and do everything online. I mean, I think Facebook, Instagram, as far as business promotion, or just, you know, conducting your business, became a way of life, right?
Right.
Okay.
And so it's really like, and so kind of just thinking through, because social media is a really immediate way for people to build a connection with your brand. And so you have to kind of think about it in a way, how do I want people to interact with my brand on a day-to-day basis? It's going to post day-to-day. And then I'll back up, and I can say anyone on here, and I'm sure even you can relate, who owns a small business, social media can be a thorn in your side. Because every time you think about it, you're like, I got to do these posts, I got to get this content. And people think it's so easy, like, well, just put some stuff up there. And it's not that
It's not easy at all. And I mean,
at all. It is not.
Over the past few months, just even trying to grow my page or, you know, build out my website. I mean, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of thought as to the content that you want to put up, because you want to put up content that's going to be relative to what message you're trying to put out, or as far as content that's relative to your brand or your business.
Right.
So you can't just put up just any old thing to say, oh, okay, let me just post this, up or whatever. I mean, that's not how it works. So it is a thought intensive process.
And that's where the whole thing, like content is king, comes into play. And so if you're a product, you can easily kind of come up with content, because you can take pictures of your product, you can put it in different settings. Or I see like Dina Burke, who's on here, who's a fashion designer. Yes. She's always doing these fabulous, fashion shoots with models. So her page is always going to look really glamorous.
Right.
But sometimes when you get into like, I do strategic marketing, or you're an attorney, some of that stuff is, how do you find content that feels glamorous and sexy and people want to, scroll
right, all at the same time. And it's
all at the same time. Exactly. And so you really have to kind of put a lot of thought into your content. You also have to think about the planning around it. And then, like I said, which channel makes sense. One of the things is Facebook used to have a leg up if you wanted to sell tickets to events or shopping. But right. Instagram has made so many more improvements, so now you can set up a store on Instagram and take payments and all that kind of stuff on Instagram, which really wasn't available in the past. So I mean, Instagram is constantly changing in the growth on Instagram, but once again, like you said, different audiences are on different channels. So 9 times out of 10, our clients probably aren't on TikTok. Maybe they're scrolling through TikTok for entertainment, but they're not going to really take us seriously trying to market ourselves on TikTok. Like us dancing around, that may not be the right place.
No, and real quick, I just want to talk about TikTok, because I've been asking my kids to do a TikTok with me, and they keep telling me, Mom, okay, if you want to grow your page, TikTok is not the platform. I'm like, I get it, but can I not post a TikTok video onto my Instagram page? They just look at me like I'm just like cuckoo. But anyway,
because you need a certain level of credibility, right?
Exactly.
And so what happens too with small businesses, if you get overwhelmed and you're like, I need to do these posts, and you don't have the time, so maybe you think about, oh, I'll hire somebody. And you have to remember that person now has become an ambassador for your brand. Right. And if you don't have a really good brand in place, you don't have a foundation, you don't have the messaging, you don't really have the right taglines, then you're really entrusting that person, whoever that is, to make a bunch of judgment calls around the information they post on your page. Right. So as you can see, even major corporations run into like these major like snafus, because they have people posting and they're like, take that post down, because either it's something offensive or something that goes against the brand. Right. And so all the time with social media, like I said, it's that quick interaction to get a brand, to connect with the brand. So if you think about it, it doesn't really matter how many people do the same thing that you do. At the end of the day, it's the emotional connection that inspires or encourages people to want to buy your products. And so that's the best thing about social media, is that you can actually build that connection with your potential clients or your target audience in a really fun and cool way. And so that's just kind of like a real high level when you're just kind of thinking about, I have a new business, I want to do social media. So now you're doing social media and you have all this stuff going on, and you start to think about, well, how important are followers? Am I going to go viral? What do I need to do? And we've talked about this. I mean, you sometimes can try, you can pray like a monk and you may not ever get a viral post. Right. And sometimes viral posts and becoming a viral sensation, it's just really the luck of the draw. And you look at those individuals who go viral, if you actually back out to their pages, they barely have any posts, they don't have any followers, but that changes literally overnight. Right. And for those type of activities, it's also kind of it's kind of hard to kind of keep trying to focus on going viral. So it's better to focus on making sure that you're really good at understanding your brand and how you want to present that brand to your audience. Okay. And so what's really, really helpful is you actually can develop what's called a content calendar. And when you become very, very strategic about the things you choose to post and the type of information that you want to share. The other thing is we talked about, I forgot previously, is which kind of I think Rashawn King got into a little whatever, is when you're a brand influencer, you have a tendency to, you're promoting yourself. So
Right.
you have a personal page. But if you truly have like a business, I always advise all of my clients to please separate your business page from your personal page.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that, just from a legal, perspective, because I'm an attorney, like I have a personal page and then I have this page and then I have a business website. And so you do have to separate, business from personal, because the two can intersect and it can cause serious problems.
Major problems. And I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, this is an extreme example. I mean, Jeff Bezos is not running Amazon through his personal page, right?
Not,
Neither is
not at
Nike.
all.
The CEO of Nike is not running the business through their personal page. Another thing too is with COVID, and so many businesses now, jumping online, and maybe all they have is a social media page. And
Right.
so I notice in a lot of these groups, and it's called Bob, like, buy black owned. A lot of individuals are trying to sell their goods and wares, and they have a private page. And once again, that's because they're selling things to their personal page.
Courage.
And
So we have a question. We have a couple of questions real quick while we're on this topic. We have Roxanne or Izzy asks why. Why should we have a separate page? I'm assuming that's what she means. Why should we have a separate page for business and personal? I believe that's what she's asking. Roxanne, if that's not correct, please correct us. But I think that's what you're asking.
So if that is what she's asking, if for a lot of different reasons, one, it's kind of like you keep your work and your business your business separate from what you do at home. So if you want people to focus on what you're there to get their attention from, and that call to action is, I want you to buy my products. I'm not necessarily trying to get you, to look at my kids and things of that nature, unless you're doing a lifestyle page. Now, if the
Right.
lifestyle page is the fact that, I'm a great mom, or I'm a great wife, or I'm a great interior decorator or designer, then maybe showing some insight to your personal life can make a difference. But once again, you may have personal views that may not agree with your audience. If you're talking about political things and different things of that nature, you may want to keep that separate from your business. Although we're starting to see where businesses are getting a little political, like they're kind of standing up for Black Lives Matter and things of that nature. But I think it's just kind of clean and separate, because one of the things is your business brand may not look the same as your personal brand.
Right.
Think about how you look when you're walking around the house compared to when you're going out there trying to get business. You have on a whole different face. So it's the same thing when you're kind
Exactly. I mean, yeah,
you're
there's
aware.
certain things that you're going to be posting on your personal page that you're not going to be posting on your business page.
And it can be confusing for your audience, right? They may go,
Right.
okay, are they selling stuff, or are they more into talking about, how great, how great their family looks. So you want to keep them focused on whatever that call to action is you want them to do, which is at the end of the day, buy your service.
Right.
Now, if it's like strictly to entertain, then you have a little more leeway to kind of be all over the place and share a little bit. But even if you have like a smaller business, it's okay to show a little snapshot of your personal life, because it humanizes the person behind the business. But even for your own peace of mind, I know one thing, and some of my clients are actually on this call, but I know maybe if I'm just having fun on social media and posting and my clients are looking for me, they may be like, why don't she call me back? Because I'm like, right, I'm just, they're like, I see she's on social media. So at the same time, it's just a privacy issue too. And you talked about as well, Janine, earlier, we talked about legal. There could be legal ramifications for.
Exactly. So, what as far as legal issues surrounding social media and posting, a good example that I want to bring out is I posted a video on my page, It's All Legal 2, yesterday, where there were two Caucasian women on there who were telling a story about how the one woman broke up with her boyfriend and the boyfriend kicked the curio cabinet down and broke stuff. And the other one was talking about, I'm looking for Rodney, I'm going to beat him up. So I just want to put this out there. I don't know if it was, if it was staged or if it was real, but it was quite entertaining. But the legal point that I want to make about this is that if you are threatening anybody on social media, whether you're serious or whether you're joking, and that person perceives the threat to be serious, that video can be used against you. That post can be used against you in a court of law. So as I tell everybody, and I tell my kids this repeatedly, what you put out there on social media and on the internet, once it's out there, it's out there. There's no taking it back. And should some stuff ever go down, legally, whether it be criminal, copyright, potential copyright infringement, possible defamation action, those posts can be used against you. So we'll get a little bit more into that into our conversation, because we have a couple of our viewers who had legal questions about that. But I am definitely going to answer or try to answer those questions for you.
And I think the other thing with social media is, there's just a few simple steps you have to think about. The more consistent you are with your posts, obviously, the more followers and the more engagement you will get. And another reason for separating your pages, if you set up a business page, then you're able to take advantage of the insights that are provided on the Facebook, on any of these social media pages. They will provide insights. So then you're able to see which posts your followers like or don't like, what time of day that the majority of your followers are online and actually engaging with you. Right. So actually kind of paying attention to those insights are really, really important if you want to think about getting your numbers up and definitely getting engagement and trying to turn that engagement and converting that into a possible sale if you are selling a product or a service. If you're doing something different, like I said, if it's more of an awareness piece and you're just trying to get your name out there and have some fun and maybe become famous, and but even at the end of the day, you still want to be able to look at those insights.
Now, where can you find the insights? Because a lot of our viewers may not know.
Right, so everything is pretty much in that upper right-hand corner, and you go to your profile, and it's like the little pull-down window, and it'll have like insights. It's like where all your settings are and things of that nature. And so it's really interesting because you kind of find out, hey, I didn't realize I had, maybe you realize you have more followers on the West Coast than you realize, And so one of the things I love about social media is it's 24 hours. So oftentimes I find with posting, people are like, this thing didn't get posted today. And I'm like, or before 5 o'clock, I'm like, social media is 24 hours.
It's open 24 hours. And people are up at all times of the night,
all times of the day.
Right, where we have four different time zones in the United States.
Exactly. So there's an opportunity someone is going to be able to see the information shared. And the other thing too is it's okay to repost some of your older posts, especially a post that got a lot of attention, either whether it got a lot of likes or comments on it. You definitely want to take advantage of that and repost those types of things, because it could actually kind of rebuild another following for you, because the assumption is everyone, when they open your phone, you don't know where they are on the feed, so they may have missed it. And so another thing too is the more you engage with entities that you want to do business with, the more they'll become a part of your algorithm. So that's why you open your phone up and it's like always maybe somebody you're familiar with or or something you've been talking about. So Instagram is really good about that. Facebook is the same way too, though. It takes note of your interactions and your likes, and that sometimes different pages, you feel like it falls off of your feed. You've ever
I noticed that. I'll be like, I haven't seen so and so post in a while. We're still friends, but their posts just aren't showing up, and that's because you're not commenting on their posts or liking
exactly. Exactly. And so the other thing too to get more leverage around that is there's lots of tools too that you can use so that you can kind of keep your eye on other pages as well as your own. So there's like Hootsuite. That's probably the most popular tool out there that most individuals use, and I mean companies use as well. And so you're able to kind of have your page and follow all of the like-minded pages or pages that you're interested in so that you can constantly stay on top of what other businesses similar to yours are doing, and even just kind of other things that may be of interest that you may think are things you want to share on your social media pages. So it's a
Right.
really, really good tool. And it also provides kind of a whole different type of insights. It allows you to do scheduled postings across all of your channels. So you
Okay.
could upload all of your posts for a month. You know, you could just say, I'm just going to do this, get it out the
Get it out the
way,
way.
and I'm done, and I'll come back, and now all I have to do is just do engagement instead of trying to do posting and engagement.
I mean, because
So
it's hard. It's like, I
it's
mean,
very
as
hard.
Dina said, I mean, she's a, and I know there are other business owners that are on here, but I can only imagine, what Dina has to, I mean, go through in approving content, to go up. So, I mean, like you said, it's a time consuming thing. And even if you have somebody else doing it for you, you still want to be involved in that process and approve what's going up, because like you said, you don't want your brand getting destroyed, or somebody posts something that's copyrighted by somebody else, and that's another legal trap that people can potentially fall into. And we had a question that was asked about using content from somebody else's page. So can you, Roxanne Izzy said, can you legally borrow illustrations from other pages? Yes, you can. If you see that there is a trademark or some other type of, marking on there, it's always best to ask permission. But I mean, I go to other pages and see something that's relevant, or, that I feel is something that my audience might want to see, and I'll, do a screenshot and post it. And I haven't been asked to take it down. So, unless the owner sees the content, or you're, trying to make a monetary benefit or obtain a monetary benefit from using trademark work, more than, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be a problem. But if you're like, using like a Rihanna song, right, in one of your advertising, post or whatever, and you haven't obtained a license or gotten permission to use it, you may get a notification to take down that post. So it's just, you always have to be careful about, using trademark work. So I hope that answers your question about that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because you see that a lot on posts. People are putting, I do not own the rights to this music. And,
And
you
that really
just,
doesn't mean anything. So let me just
right.
clarify that. I mean, I don't know where that came from. I kind of, was seeing people post that up, but I'm here to tell you that it means nothing. Okay, just because you put up, a disclaimer saying that I don't own the rights to this music will not shield you from liability in the event that, the artist, asks you to take the video down, or, whatever you
Oh,
posted that contained their, copyrighted work. It's not going to protect you. I mean, I haven't heard about, any artists going after, individuals for, posting their songs or anything, but, you can be asked to take down content by the copyrighted, owner.
and
So
social media will take it down for you.
they will take it down for you,
They will take
especially
it down for
Facebook.
you.
Facebook is really, really strict about
Yes.
that. You
I
try
mean,
to put
there's
up a
some
post
workarounds around that, but I don't know
that
that.
has a song played in the background, or some type of promo that you're doing that uses a popular song, they will make you prove that you have permission to use it before the post will actually get basically dispersed on the platform. So you are absolutely correct about that. Mm-hmm.
And another thing to think about is hashtags. So, people love to use hashtags. And what's so interesting about hashtags is some people get really caught up into the vanity hashtags. And those are good for you if you're maybe posting, 5,000 posts. Then if
Okay.
somebody were to search for that hashtag, they would find it. But really the purpose of the hashtag is you're and this is another thing, like there's tools out there that just help you figure out what are the most popular hashtags. So there's a tendency that people sometimes will pick a popular hashtag that has nothing to do with their business. But while that may get attention to your page, it'll get you a false sense of followers. Like they may start following you, but then when they realize, oh, this page is not really about, hair products, but they had
Right.
hashtag, shampoo, then you're gonna, after one post, you're gonna lose them. So while it may initially get a bunch of people over to a post, they're not gonna stay because your page is not aligned with their interests. So, but
Right.
you do want to try different hashtags. And that's why you'll see, once you get enough followers and enough engagement, you'll see where people don't even use
You're
hashtags at
right. You
all.
don't even have to use them anymore.
But you do have to switch them out. But at the same time, you do kind of want your hashtags to be reflective of the audience that you're trying to attract. And
Right.
then also, you want it to be a healthy hashtag, like with a lot of meat behind it. So say, for example, like a hashtag DFW in itself is its own world. Like, so whenever you put that hashtag DFW, you're literally in a queue. And if you go to that hashtag, you'll see all like millions of posts just under DFW.
Okay.
Um, you can pick, like, I follow the hashtag marketing. Under that hashtag is like millions and millions of posts. So anytime somebody's searching for marketing, there is that possibility that something you posted may show up because the hashtag marketing in itself may have like a million posts. And you'll see them when you're typing in the hashtag and you see the
Yes.
number behind it. So that's why
Exactly.
sometimes even with the number, when you see a number and it says 200, well, don't pick the one that says 200. Pick the hashtag,
That's
the higher number.
right. The
So,
highest number. Exactly.
but I'll see people all the time, well, I just want to hashtag my favorite nickname. And I'm like, but no one's going to ever search for that if there's only your one hashtag post.
Right.
So, I mean, it's okay to have vanity hashtags if eventually they get a strong following. I do see where Crystal, I don't know if she's still on here, Real Crystal Talk was talking about leveraging social media.
Right. Right. I did want to see that. Or
Yeah,
want
and
to
I
talk. I
mean,
did
that
see
is,
that and want to talk about that.
yeah, that's hugely important because if you're just going to keep posting and keep posting, you have to remember this is social media marketing. And marketing is not about what you think your customers want. It's what or you think they need. It's really, marketing is about what your customers want. And
Okay.
so if you're just posting a bunch of stuff, once again, like I said, that doesn't answer or solve that problem for them, or
Right.
if it's, they want to be entertained, but even if you're not entertaining them the right way. And I think you mentioned you had a post that had a really high amount of viewers, and you were like, wow, I'm onto
Right. I
something here.
posted on Facebook the story when it came out about there was a show on the OWN network called Sweetie Pies. It was about the soul food restaurant that was based in, it still is in St. Louis. And there was a show on and it ran for 5 years. But anyway, there was the owner's son basically recently got into some legal trouble. He was arrested on a murder for hire charge of being involved with the killing of his nephew. I just happened to post a clip of that up on Facebook. Did not boost it, was just trying to put content up. As of earlier this afternoon, it had almost 180,000 views.
Wow.
And my followers are, I mean, they are just going up literally by the thousands. So it just was not expected. I'm glad now that I'm trying to get a gauge for what my audience wants to see. So yeah, I
It,
wasn't expecting that post to do that.
right, and so it kind of gives you engaged that maybe your audience likes to be sensationalized a bit.
Exactly.
And then also, I mean, that in itself is a really, known brand, a popular brand. Even like
Right.
what we're doing today, if I had more followers, it could be really beneficial to you, right? Because the thing is, being interviewed and doing lives and letting someone take over your Instagram, that's the end thing now. So if there's somebody that you can actually take over their Instagram that has a significant amount of followers, it can also be beneficial to your page as well if someone's generous enough and kind enough to
let
do
you
that
do
for
that,
you.
right?
And then we talked about the other thing is video, and that was a
Right.
video. Like everyone knows across all channels, videos get more engagement. The shorter, the better.
Yes.
Although unless it's something just really, really different and unique. But if you think about it now, it used to be a lot of just static posts, or there are some memes that get circulated pretty frequently. But when you think about viral sensations, most things are videos that go viral, hands
Right,
down. Yeah.
exactly. I'm noticing that even with my posts on Instagram, I definitely get more engagement with videos than I do with just photographs or, like you said, memes. So,
And
um,
even with the graphic designs now, which would be just a static design, they're starting to make a part of those templates where they're becoming animated. So everybody's trying to put a little extra sauce on on the information that you're sharing. I mean, it's a hard
right.
work. I mean, it's a challenging world out here to keep people engaged and
Based.
really
Because
wanting
people
to.
really do have a short attention span. I mean,
They
because there's
really
so much
do.
content out there for people to look at, and they're just scrolling, right? So unless they see something that just catches their eye, and like you said, it's only going to be for, the matter of a few minutes,
And then
right?
they're gone to the next thing. And so
Exactly.
one of the things to think about too are the channels. So like obviously LinkedIn is the most business oriented channel. So if
Okay.
you are trying to be a business coach, or even within your field, if you're selling professional services, like I said, business to business, corporate clients, you want to be a thought leader, then LinkedIn is the best place to be to present that image and to do, stories and things on LinkedIn and videos on
Right.
LinkedIn.
Okay.
Um, if you think about Twitter, Twitter is more of a very reactive type of software platform. It's more the real time thing. Like, hey, we're here. I'm tweeting. I'm mad. I'm emotional.
Right.
Everyone gets emotional a lot, and they've used Twitter to their advantage for that. So you think about Twitter, it's really more reactive. Then you got Facebook, and Facebook to me is like long form entertainment.
It really
That's
is.
that's where you put your articles when you want to read things. I know that sometimes people are trying to push stuff that's more Facebook content
Onto
that it
Instagram.
is Instagram. And
Right.
like Instagram is definitely pictures and videos are short and sweet, but they
Yeah.
do have tools that you can use for Instagram if you want to share your articles, and you'll see the bigger pages like People Magazine or something where they say click on the link, and when you click on the link it actually gives you like a menu where you can actually click on all the different images that'll take you to an actual article. So there's some tools out there called like Curate, Linktree. Those are some things if you want to start showing more articles and you don't have to take people so far away from your Instagram page to get it, or take them to a web page where they got to scroll to a bunch of stuff to figure out how do I get to that article they were just talking about on the post.
Right.
So that's another thing to think about. And then we can switch to the legal stuff. But at the end of the day, social media is really important. But as we talked about before, at the end of the day, you still need a website. You need a
Absolutely.
central hub where that is your content. It belongs to you. And you can actually get more traction because what happens is you can start to push content from your website to social media that drives people back to your website in order to maybe kind of extend the engagement a little bit longer.
Right.
Because people are really interested. So then now there's different ways, and I won't go into the website stuff, but you can definitely, your website can be a huge money maker. Now there are tons of people on Instagram making a bunch of money, selling t-shirts. I mean, just selling hair products.
Products. Right.
And now, you can set up a shop. Like I said, you can set up a full-on shop on Instagram now. So
Well,
there's a lot of ways to do
real
that.
quick to that point, we have another question just related
Okay.
to that from Roxanne Izzy saying, what do you think about people who have cash apps on their business page?
Oh.
What do you think about that, Lynne?
I mean, I you know, it's so funny because on those Black-owned businesses, people talk about that Cash App thing. I think if it's a credibility issue for me. I think if
Okay.
you're a legitimate
Okay.
business, you should have credit card payments. You should have PayPal. Cash App now too has had some security issues. I don't know. They had a major security breach
Okay.
recently, and so I would not use that as my form of accepting payment. And I personally um, don't buy things through Cash App because it's a credibility issue. I'm concerned about security and the thing
Right.
is, if you're going to start making big purchases and things of that nature, because I even had a client and we had found a widget for them to use on their website, and the widget only took PayPal, and they were like, I have corporate clients. I'm not going to send them the PayPal. Like that just would not look official. So
Right.
some of it, especially when you're new business, you want to have credibility out the gate. Cash App seems like, are they going to send me my product or not?
Product. Right. Because I mean, I don't think that Cash App has any type of like tracking device or you know capabilities or whatever. If you can pull a payment once it's been sent, if you don't get the product. So I'm not
Right.
that familiar with Cash App, but I mean, just you know,
And
from a
and
consumer
that's the
perspective,
and that's exactly, you're not that familiar with Cash App. Everyone knows PayPal and they know credit cards and
right,
debit, which are now debit credit cards. So you want to have acceptable form of payment. You don't want to make it difficult. You know, people are in the checkout, they're ready to go, and they're like, Cash App.
right.
You may have lost the sale, you know?
Yeah,
But
so
that's a
be
good
very
question.
careful. I mean, because that's what it is. It's cash. You're basically giving somebody cash through an app.
Right.
I mean, hence the name. So yeah, I would be very, very, you know, cautious about those type of transactions for, you know,
Doing
commerce.
business.
Yeah, commerce. Real quick, we have a question from Milk Diva that says, can you talk about the liabilities involved with having a social media content manager? What if their content turns out not to be original? Well, you know, that's a good question. If you hire a content manager, now if they are your employee and they start posting stuff that, you know, turns out to be somebody else's work, or that turns out to be offensive or anything like that, then under state law, you could be held liable for the content that content manager posts up. So, I mean, you know, and it just depends on the relationship. If you hire an outside, you know, person, you still may have some liability involved as the business owner, because you still, and we talked about this earlier, it's still your responsibility to manage and approve the content that goes up. And Lynn, I think we talked about this earlier too.
Yeah, and the thing about that's why a tool like Hootsuite is great, because if you are paying someone to post content for you, you have the opportunity to approve those posts before it has like an administrative option for approval. So the cool thing, if you're hiring somebody, part of the deal you can make with them is, look, I want all the posts uploaded ahead of time, and
Right.
I'll approve them weekly, and then you can push them out. So then it'll kind of fall on you if you approve it. But you know, that's another thing too, and maybe we can segue into the legal stuff, because before I had my own business, I worked at Fortune 500 companies, and one of the things, and I see this business insurance cover social media. That's a good question, because I do have errors and omissions
Yeah.
insurance from, yeah, that's a good question. But
It is.
a lot of people don't realize when companies have a major brand, you have attorneys that only focus on brand. You know, you
Right.
have compliance attorneys, like I work in healthcare, so there would be the compliance attorneys
Compliance.
will make
Yeah.
sure that stuff was right with, you know, the government, whatever, as far as healthcare and the FDA. But then we also had a team of brand attorneys. And that's all they did was look at the marketing materials just from a brand perspective. And there are other things they're looking at too, like you can't overpromise things, you know, like you
Right.
see people pushing these, you know, drinks and all this kind of stuff, and it can get you in
In
trouble.
trouble. In fact, you know, when I was preparing for our talk today, I was just, you know, kind of, you know, looking at some information on the legal side, and basically there was a ruling by the I think it was the Federal Trade Commission, that you can't just, sell like these drinks and teas and make claims about them if they're not substantiated. And if you got, and if those businesses, if they hire like influencers or whoever to promote their product, first of all, the person that's promoting that product has to disclose the fact, of what their role is with this company, and also they have to disclose what the compensation is. This company got fined, I think it was, hundreds of millions of dollars for the fact that they did not do that. So, when somebody asks you, especially if you're an influencer, if somebody asks you, hey, I need you to promote this product for me, you really need to be cognizant about, making sure that, those endorsements are in compliance with federal and state laws. Very, very important.
Very important.
Very important.
I had a client recently and they were like, yeah, we want you to do this marketing. And I said, well, it was a new product and it was something to kind of deal with COVID stuff. And I said, well, I think you guys need a disclaimer. I'm not going to write you a disclaimer, but I think you need to get an attorney
yeah.
to do that for you. I said, as a marketer, I said, that's a statement I'm going to make as your marketer. But what you decide to do after that, that's on you. But I just have to know that I shared that with you.
Right.
And what you, because once you start pushing this stuff online, you just don't want
it to come back and bite you, because like I keep saying, once it's out there, it's out there. There's no reversing and pulling back. So you have to be very, very careful about, what you're putting out there as far as social media, on your website, just, anything that goes over, the internet, it could all, at some point come back to you if something goes awry, basically.
So another thing we had talked about was what does it take to be an influencer? You need 10,000 followers at least to be an influencer. For a company to consider to pay the post or be a brand ambassador, that's kind of usually that magic number.
Right.
That's why I said someone like Sean King, who decided to close his page, he's at 3 million followers. So he's good.
He's straight.
He's good no matter what.
Right.
And so like I said, if you're trying to be an influencer, and that's a little out of my lane, but that is very lucrative. People do that for a living and make 7 figures quite often. Someone like Kylie Jenner, obviously,
whatever.
Yeah, gets $1 million a post. It's big business. If you can, it's a career path, right?
It really is.
And the other thing we talked about was getting verified. And so verified is a crapshoot. You actually have to apply to get verified. And there are actually these companies that do that for you. And it's like they have access to a digital portal. You have to find this agency. And then you can submit your verification to Instagram. And it's still very random on how they pick who they. It's not even based on number of followers. It's not necessarily because you're a celebrity.
So there's no set formula that they use.
Right.
Okay.
It's really weird. And then there is a black market for this where people kind of buy verifications. I didn't investigate that a lot because I don't really care, because I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So, the thing about with social media, and I think you look at the trends and where things are going, 1 minute Facebook was all we had, and now there's Twitter that's kind of blown up within the last 4 years. People really weren't on Twitter.
Right.
Now Instagram has gone through the roof. And I think at the end of the day, it's just understanding, based on your target audience and who you're trying to reach, which channel you want to focus on the most to reach that audience. Because on Facebook now, it's skewing slightly older. Like, I know my mom's on Facebook. I know plenty of people's parents are on Facebook.
But they're not going to be on Instagram.
Right. Exactly. And so it's just kind of, Instagram is definitely, and it's getting, the age demographic is getting a little higher, but it's still kind of under 40.
It really is. Most of the content that you see up there, right.
Yeah, you kind of feel like you're at the club and you're like, maybe I should have left when the happy hour was over.
My time for this has come and gone.
Exactly. And another thing too is with the followers is as you're starting your page, a lot of times you're tempted, you want to follow more people because you're trying to get in there and figure out what's going on. But
Right.
you will see bigger entities don't really follow that many people. I don't know if you've noticed that
No, I do. I've
they
noticed
follow about
that.
200 people because, and it keeps their feed clean.
Right.
Because the only thing that's in their feed is what they really need to see and really their own posts. So, but you have to get to that point where you can just have a few followers like that.
Right.
I think one question, Janine, I'm a turn. So with the verification companies, I don't have any names for you, Roxanne. I don't know if you are a personal friend of Janine's, but they are actually these digital agencies, and you have to do a little research and dig into that. But I don't have any names that I can give you for
Yeah, I'm
this.
sorry. Yeah, and I don't either. But that definitely is a good question. We also have a question from another HU sister, Mary Elliott. I cannot talk tonight, y'all. Mary Elliott, what's up,
Mary
Mary?
Elliott. Hey.
Oh no, she just had a basically a comment. She said, always credit the photographer and find the actual source of the photo because some pages post images and don't credit the photographer. And it's a matter of a simple search. And Mary, you are absolutely correct. I just want to add to that, you know, once you take a photograph, once you snap whatever device you're using to take it, you own that photo. Because I think we talked about that briefly also. And it's an automatic copyright. So, usually most pictures that you take and you post up, there's not an issue with it. But if you have a photographer that, takes photos for you, those photos are actually the property of the photographer, even if you are the subject. So just always keep that in mind. It's, like Mary said, it's always best to just give photo credit or artist credit, to whatever content you're posting up if that's available, because Mary is right. It's a matter of a simple search. So Mary, thank you so much for that info. Mary is, I don't know, I can't remember what her actual position is, but Lynn, she's with the
The National African Museum.
African National
And
Museum in
Smithsonian.
DC.
The infamous.
I mean, Mary is doing big things. So, I mean, is she
We're
definitely,
glad to have you, Mary.
thank you, Mary. Love you.
The other thing too is what Mary, to kind of tag along, tagging the photographer also too is another way to get followers.
Right.
Doing the right thing can actually give you more engagement. Because once again, it can become a cross-promotional opportunity for the both of you. And if it's a photographer you happen to know, then it's even better. But
Right.
it actually can, like I said, it can help you kind of extend your reach. And it is the right thing to do. And I actually see individuals say, hey, credit that person for their song, their artwork. And I will see different posters go back and they'll change the caption.
They'll change the credit. Yeah, now I'm pretty good about doing that too, because if I don't know and then I find out, I will always go back and give, credit, because I mean, that's just, the right thing to do. I mean, that's not your work that you're posting. And if you know whose work it is, that's just, I don't want to say, well,
Well, it's what I want to call just the right thing to do. So I see
right.
Roxanne has another question about IG, what they claim is theirs.
I'm trying to look. I just want to acknowledge a couple of people on here because we are
Okay.
running out of time. Daryl
Okay.
Washington, one of my dear friends from law school, civil rights attorney in Dallas.
Hi,
He's been
Daryl.
on my show. Yeah, you know Daryl. Daryl is the man.
No, I'm in Dallas, so yes. I mean, outside of Dallas, so glad he's here.
Thank you, Daryl, for tuning in, my brother. And we have Dr. Nikki ATL join. Hello, hello.
Nikki, hi, Nikki. Thanks for joining.
Let's see. I
She's
see
our
it.
HU.
Hey,
HU alum.
Stephanie. All our HU sisters are on here tonight. Persian Black Queen, hello, my sister. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let me try to, IG claims they own any content once it's posted on IG to use as they like. Well, I mean, that you have to use disclaimers. you know, and I unfortunately I don't have the answer to that question. I can definitely, you know, do some research on that and shoot you a DM on that, Roxanne. But you have to be careful about, there are disclaimers on social media platforms that you do need to read, because they contain information about what can, you know, what can be done with the information once you post it. So I don't have the exact answer, but I'm
Well,
more than
one of
willing
the
to look
things
into
I
it.
want to add on to that is there was a gentleman. He actually took all of these pictures off of Instagram and did a huge art show in New York. And it was this is about 4 years ago. And
Okay.
it was a really big to do because people were like, that's me. And this guy is posting using my images from
And he
Instagram.
didn't, and he didn't get permission from, and
Right, as a
that's
part of an art installation. And I don't know what the resolve was with that. I never followed up because I was always curious to see, but I think it kind of worked out where he he was able to use the content because kind of what Roxanne is saying, that if you put it out there and you don't, it's not copyrighted, then there's like nothing you can do when you put those images online that way.
right.
And so I
But
mean
you
he
still
had a
own
full
them.
art show with
But you
other
can
people.
ask them, yeah. I mean, they still have to get permission, you know, for their use. So, I mean, if they're using pictures or content that, you know, in an inappropriate manner and it comes back to you, you can have a legal recourse against them.
Well, that for sure, I can imagine that for
Yep.
sure. I do want to say a shout out. My little sister's on here. I don't know if she
Hey!
left Shaylin, and I saw Stephanie Kinder,
And
and
I see Summer
Aristide
Red Cherise, are
Collins
my sissy.
is here. So I want to say hi to Aristide. I'm so happy he joined. I don't
I
know if
know,
I
and I
missed
saw
anyone else,
another
but
friend, Elliot Lyles. Hello, hello, my brother. BTM Reggie. Hello. Ah! Is that Reggie Cummings, my brother? Hello, hello. We have all the heavy hitters
oh,
on
and
here
we have
tonight.
Cherise. We have our favorite.
Hello, Sharice, my sissy. That's what I
We have
said.
Reese. Yay.
AJ Collins Jr. Hey, hello.
Heresy, yay. So, but I think at the end of the day, the thing with social media in general is a consistency. Is it time consuming? Yes, it's very time consuming. But
Right.
I think if you're consistent in what you do and you really take the time to look at those insights and understand your audience, I think you can get out of it what you need to get out of it. It's just
Right.
like I said, with small businesses, it's having the bandwidth to be able to do it on a
To do it
consistent
on, I
basis.
know.
Because
And
I think we
we
all.
are, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we are running out of time. I mean,
Oh,
we
go
could
right
talk
ahead.
about
Yeah.
all this, but I wanted just you to tell people where they can find you on IG.
Yeah, you
And
can find me at Braggology, which is a play on my name, and then I also have a website, braggology.com. So definitely reach out. We can continue this conversation about marketing in general
yes,
and
you
just
will come
strategic.
back, my sister, anytime, because we could go
This was
on and on.
awesome. I was so glad to be here, and thanks for everyone who showed up
Yes,
today.
thank
Thank
you. Thank
you.
you, all of our HU people and my family and friends and my viewers. Thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of Sunday Sessions. I'm Janine Hovell-Cox, and we will see you back next week. For all of you all who are in the path of these storms that are brewing in the Gulf, like myself,
Be safe.
be
Be
safe,
safe,
please be
everyone.
prepared. Do not wait until the last minute because, you know, as you know, there's just these things can change at any moment, but I'm just praying that everybody stays safe, you know, staying safe from COVID. And Lynn, thank you so much for
And
sharing your knowledge.
thank you. Bye, my cousin Willa and Cheryl Bowman.
And I'm sorry. I just want to think if I didn't give you a shout out, you know, individually, I appreciate all of my viewers, all of those who tuned in tonight. Please stay tuned. Tell your friends and family to follow me at itsalllegal.com. This is the platform where life and law collide. So you know, the purpose of this platform is just to bring awareness as to, you know, how the law affects everyday life, to bring awareness to social issues, and just try to make a change. So I just am thankful for all of you all. Pray that you all continue to stay safe and blessed. Lynn, I will talk to you soon. And like I said, you come back on anytime because I mean,
Thank
this
you so
conversation
much.
could go on forever. But um,
Okay.
thank you
Take
and stay
care. Okay.
safe. And thank you guys. And I will
Bye
see you
bye.
next Sunday. Bye bye.